Ram Ram Jai Shri Ram Jai Shri Ram.
அங்க ஒரு டூ வீலர்.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, beta. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, beta. Same to you, dear. Same to you. Same to all of you.
Happy New Year, sir.
Same to you, dear.
Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year, dear. I think others are busy in celebrating the New Year. That's why they didn't join. Okay. Raghav has joined in. Let's wait for 2 to 3 minutes more, and after that, I'll begin with the lecture.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, beta. Good afternoon.
Sir, you are on mute.
Okay, let's start with the lecture. So today we are going to, develop. We are going to learn how can we design that slider app. Fine, and I'm almost done with the designing part, but I would like to show you. There are some things which you have to keep in mind when you're designing these kind of screens, which you are seeing over here. Okay, so we'll be for this app that we will be developing. We'll be using 1, 2, 3, 4 different screens. Okay, so this is the sign-in screen that we will be using. Okay, and this one is the main screen. Fine. From this one, we are going to pick up the colors, and from this one, we are going to select the font family. Now, the first question is how I have created this screen. I hope every one of you knows about this thing. We have discussed about this in the very first lecture.
Yes, sir.
Am I right? Everyone knows about this thing.
Yes, sir.
How I have designed.
Yes, sir.
So what is the
Yes,
keyword
yes,
that I need to type in the search bar of Google in order to find this screen, this kind of screen? Can anyone help me with the...
Sir, I can.
Mobile image.
Clip
Sign
art.
in mobile image.
Absolutely right. It is
Sign in mobile image clip art.
Or clip art. Yeah. Or you guys can type. You guys can just type login screen like that. Fine. So this is the first thing. Now comes this screen, colors screen. Now, how I have found this screen on Google, that's what I would like to tell you first before proceeding with the coding part. So here in the search tab, you need to type in. Can anyone tell me what should I type here in the search bar of Google in order
Sir,
to
I
find
can.
this? Yes, dear, please go ahead.
Child with
Uh,
canvas.
Man.
Child with canvas.
Man
Okay,
with
child with
colored
canvas.
split
Okay,
part.
child with canvas, and finally, this word I will have to add with this text, right? Clip art. So when you will come on this images, you will be able to find, these kind. This see this image is here. So this is how you can find this image on this Google Images. Fine. Similarly, if you want to find out this image, this family is getting reflected over here, and there are the names of font. There are some names of font which are getting reflected over here. Now, how I have created this screen, that's what I would like to tell you first. So here I have typed in family frame clip art. Okay, so this is the first thing I typed here, and I came across couple of these kind of screens. If you want, you can make use of this screen also. Now what I have done, I have copied this image. I copied this image and pasted the same in this paint software. So I pasted it here. Okay, and finally, let's decrease the size of this here. And now what you can do, you guys can come on this code.ord platform, and here when you will, if you will put a, sorry, not this one. Okay, if you will come on a drop down, or if you have got a text box also, in the properties part, when you will come here, when you'll click on this drop down, which is of font family, you'll get to see the names of all the fonts getting reflected over here. Is this visible to every one of you, the names of all the fonts?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now what you guys have to do, you need to just take a snapshot of this image which you are seeing over here. How can you take a snapshot? By using print screen
Print
button,
screen.
which is there on your keyboard, which you can find it easily on your keyboard. And after
So we can
that,
also use screen snip.
you can use that also, dear. Fine. For now, I am using this print screen, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to paste it in the paint software like this. Fine. And using the selection tool, I'm going to take out this part. Okay, and I'm going to put it. I've copied this part and I'm putting it over here like this. Now, have you got this thing? How I have created this beautiful screen, this font family
Yes, sir.
screen. Is this thing clear to every one of you, or is there any issue?
Yes,
Is there
sir.
anything which you? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is how I have created this beautiful screen. Now let's come back on this coding part, and let me just stop this. Yeah. So the first thing that we're going to do is, now we're going to define the code for this screen one. Now how I want to define the code for this screen. See, if the email and the password, if in these two components the user will enter colors, he should get redirected on this colors screen. If he will enter family, then he should get redirected on this screen. And if he will enter main, then he should get redirected on this main screen. That's how I will define the code for this login button which you are seeing over here. Okay, so for that we can come on this, we can select this on event block and put it over here. Who is there on unmute right now? Can you please put yourself on mute here? So what is the ID of this login button? It is login. We are going to replace this ID with login. And when the user will hit this login button, I would like to check for some conditions. Okay, so I'm putting a check on these two components. And how can we put a check on these two components? Using this if loop. So if get text, from where we would like to get the text first, from this component, it is email. So if email is equal to colors, okay, and just because we want to check two different conditions in one go, so that is the reason we need to place a logical operator. Okay, and if the password P capital, if the password is there anyone in the waiting room right now? No. So if the password is also equal to what? If the password is also equal to colors, and let's place a round bracket, and here I would like to get the user redirected on screen colors. Fine, so for that we can make use of the set screen block, and here we can write down colors. So this code is going to redirect the user to this colors screen. Fine, and now we can copy this whole code and put it over here. If the email field, if in the email field the user will enter family, F in small, and if in the password field also he has entered family, then I would like to redirect him to this screen with name family. Similarly, if the user will enter main in this email part, and if he will enter main in this password field, then I would like to get him redirected on the main screen. Right, now in order to make it more interactive, we can add some sounds to this uneven block we have defined over here. So, and instead of putting it inside the if loops, okay, individually for every, there are three if loops that we have defined over here. So instead of defining the play sound block individually for these if loops, what we can do, we can define them globally by putting this play sound block outside this if loop, but it should be inside this on event block.
On event.
Okay,
It means it should be inside the on event.
it should be inside the on event block, but it should be outside the if loops. Okay,
Because if we put it in loops, then we need to define 3 times.
absolutely right. Okay,
And in this one, we are just one block defining and it works for all of them.
absolutely right. It is going to work for all of them now. So this is, let's put it over here. Yeah, fine. Now let's come on this colors screen first. Okay, so we are going to, let's see whether this app is working fine or not first.
Sir, you are on mute.
So if I will put colors over here and colors in this password field, so I'm getting redirected on this screen. Similarly, if I will put family in both the components, then let's see whether I will get redirected on the family screen or not. So I think this one is also, yeah, this one is also working fine. Likewise, if we'll put main in both the components, the password as well as email component, then we should get redirected on the main screen. Yes, we are. I think we'll be able to get the desired output. Yes, we are. Okay, so the main screen looks like this. Here I have got a text area. There are two drop downs over here. How we are going to fetch the values for these two drop downs, that's what I would like to I'm going to tell you about this thing in the later part of this lecture. And there are three sliders which I've placed over here. These are three label boxes, one with ID red, the second with ID green, and the third with ID blue. And there is a message box which I have created over here using the text input component available in the design part of the code.org platform. And this is a label, and this is again a slider. So there are four sliders in total. We are going to make use of it in order to make this app more interactive. Now, first of all, we are going to design this color screen. So as you guys know, this is an image button which I have placed over this screen. Fine.
So why
And
is this checkered background appearing?
because it is a PNG image here. If you want to get
Okay.
rid of this, you can make use of that remove.bg website with which you can
Website.
remove the background of this image. I think I have told you about that website in the
Yes,
first
sir.
lecture only.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
guys can
sir.
make use of that website in order to remove this background which you're seeing right now, in the back side of this image. So now what we are going to do, we are going to define some labels on this image button like this. So this is a first label that I am putting over on this green color getting reflected on this plate. Okay, and I am removing this text part from here, and here I'm going to write down green. Fine, similar, the same thing I'm going to do with the rest things also. And this one is yellow. Okay, and from here I will pick up the colors. How, that's what we'll talk about in the later part of this video. So it is green, this one is yellow, and then this one is blue. So right now I'm going to define the label boxes for four colors: green, yellow, then it is blue, and last one is red. Okay, and once I'm done with defining the label boxes, I'm going to define the code on the workspace for these labels. Now let's come on this coding part. So see, the first thing that I would like to do is, if the user will click on this green color, I would like to store it first in a table. Fine, whatever selection he is going to make here from this plate, I need to store it in a table first. So for doing that, again, I need to define an on-event block over here. Okay, and what is the idea of this? It is green. We need to replace it with green. Where is that?
Sir,
This is the one, right? So when the user will hit this green color, I would like to get it stored in a table. And the table's name is, let's say, color. Okay, yeah, colors. Let's convert it back into text-based coding. And what are we storing here? We are storing the names of the colors. So there is only one column which I require for this table. And from where are we going to get the name of the color? We can define it directly over here. If he will
green.
click, green, then it should be green, G in capital. And then if suppose you want to define the same thing for this yellow color, you can copy this whole code and put it after this uneven block. Okay, and this is for the yellow color. Okay, and likewise we are going to do it for the remaining two also. This is blue, so we are going to define here blue, and the last one is red, and here I go. Fine, so this is going to add all these four colors in a particular table named colors. Fine, now once I'm done with adding all the required colors, how can I fetch it inside this drop down too? Can anyone tell me how can I
Sir, we can
fetch
use
Sir,
the?
list.
cascading drop-downs append item.
Absolutely right. We can make use of that append item concept. Okay,
List
we can make
variable.
it absolutely right here, because we right now what we are trying to do, we are trying to fetch the names of more than two items in one go from a particular table. So that is the reason we need to make use of list variable. Absolutely correct. So it is drop down to. So when the person will hit this drop down to, what should happen? We would like, because we are fetching the records from the table, so that is the reason we need to make use of this read records block. Right, what is the name of the table? It is colors, from which where we are going to get the names of the colors. And I have told you, when we were discussing that cascading drop downs concept, in that lecture I told you that if you have to define a list variable, you need to put it in between these two things, read records block and the for loop. So here we are going to define a list variable for color. So this is the variable which I'm using. The name of this variable is color, and now inside this if loop, we need to append all the items to this list variable. Append item, and then the name of this list variable is color. Okay, and after that, records I dot. What is the name of the column where we are saving the names of the
Sir,
colors?
colors.
It is named here. It is not colors.
Name.
Name,
It is
name.
name.
Yes,
Absolutely
sir.
right. So we need to put here name. Fine, and we can eliminate this part because we don't require it. Now, in order to get the colors reflected in this drop down, we can make use of set
Set
color
property.
property, right? So where is that set color property? Sorry, set property, not set color property. It is set property. Fine. Now let's convert it back into block-based coding. What is the idea of this component? It is drop down to. Where is that? Yeah. So we need to replace it with drop down 2 over here, and we are trying to set the options for this drop down, right? So we need to change it to options. Let's convert it back into text based coding, and the name of the variable where all the items will get stored is color. Right, from this variable we are going to take the options for this drop down too. So finally all the colors are going to get reflected over here in this drop down box. Names of all the colors are going to get reflected over here. Now, if suppose the user makes any selection, suppose he choose red color. So I would like to see the background color of this text area to change from this, whatever the color is reflecting right now. I want to change the background color of this to red. How can we do that? So for doing that, we
Sir,
need to,
read record.
better we need to again first make use of this on even block, right? And this time we are going to define this on even block for this drop down to again. Drop down to again, and this time what we are doing, we are inputting a value, na? Okay, so that is the reason instead of selecting click, we are going to select input from this drop down. Are you guys getting my point? Is this thing clear to all of you?
Yes,
We're
sir.
going to
Yes, sir.
select input because we are giving a value to a component. We are connecting this component with this drop down. In order to fetch the values for this drop down, we have already defined a code over here in the workspace. Okay, this is a code. Now, in order to change this, the property of this text area based on the selection which the user is going to make from this from the options part of this drop down, we need to again define an odd even block for this, for the input property of this drop down. Okay, and this time what should happen, because we are trying to set the property of this text area, so that is the reason we will make use of this set property block again. Where is that set property block? This is the one. So we are going to put it over here. The idea of this component is writing pad. Let's change it to a writing pad, and I would like to change the background color of this to what? To whatever I will
Get
select.
text on drop
Sir, we
down
can use the
2.
color variable.
But instead of that, can we use get text?
Yes, sir.
I
Get
think that
text
Yes.
from
will
drop down 2.
absolutely right. Get text from drop down to. Okay, now let's check out whether this is going to give us the desired output or not. That's what we are going to do first. So I am going to try this out now on two different tabs, because one is for the colors, for adding the colors, and the second one is for fetching the names of the colors in the drop down. So this here I'm going to enter colors. Okay, this is a screen, and here we need to enter main. Why the other components are not getting reflected? I think I need to refresh the screen again. Am I audible to every one of you?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, I thought I got disconnected from the meeting. Yeah, and here I'm going to enter main. Fine. Now let's do one thing. Let's hit this green color first. Okay, so I'm done with clicking on the green color label box. Now we are not able to see over here any kind of table. Why is it so? Is there any issue we have in the code we have defined over here? Let's check it out. So if the user will hit this green color, the ID of that, it is green only. So when the user will hit this green named label box, this colors table should get created now over on the data browser connected to this app. Now why? Okay, the table is here. I think I need to refresh this code also. There is some issue at my end. The browser is not updated, maybe because of that I am facing this issue. Let's remove this table for now. Okay, and I'm going to run this app one more time on these two different tabs. So this is for the colors screen, for accessing the colors screen, and this is for accessing the main screen. Yes. Now let's set this green color. Let's see whether a table has got created on the data browser connected to this app or not. Yes, a table has got created and we are able to see this green reflecting in this table, right? Now in order to fetch this name of the table, we need to hit this drop down. See, this green is getting reflected over here. Now let's select this green. Let's choose this yellow color. Yellow has also got added. Blue is also there in the table and red is also getting reflected, I think. Yeah, red is also there. Now we are done with adding all the four colors. We are going to check now whether we'll be able to access all the four colors now in the drop down over here or not. So see, we are able to access all the four colors we have added to the table. Now let's select a color. Let's select this blue color. Are we getting the desired result or not?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Okay. Now let's do the same thing for the font also. So we are going to come on this family screen now. I'm converting it back into text-based coding, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to copy the whole code that I have made use of for the
For
colors
colors.
part in order to use the same for the font family part. Now how I'm going to do that, that's what I will tell you now. So first of all, I'm going to place these labels over here on these text things which are getting reflected, which are a part of this image. So it is Arial font. The first one is the Arial font. The second one is the Georgia font. Okay. And while placing these label boxes, no, just make sure that they should not overlap with the other label boxes, because then it will not give you the correct result. If they
Sir,
will
what
over.
is that lock icon appearing after width and height?
What is that? Where is that, dear?
After the width
It's a
text
width
input,
and
there is
height.
a lock icon.
These lock items. See,
Yes, sir.
if it is unlocked, then it means that you can change the width and height. Okay. See, if you will lock them up, you will not be able to set the width and height of these label boxes, which we are defining over here using the set property block. It is just like read property that we guys make use of for this text area.
Text area sort of property, right?
Yeah, yeah. Where is that? So we are going to define the labels for 4 fonts for now. After that, you guys can, where is that height option here? This is the one. This is for Georgia, and this one is for Palatino. And let's define one more label box for the times also. Fine, so there are now 4 label boxes, 4 different label boxes. One is with label times, second one is with label Palatino, third one is with Georgia, and the idea of the fourth one is Arial. Let's now come on this coding part and define the code for these label boxes. So I'm going to define Arial for this Arial label box first, and let's make it font or fonts. Okay, what is the name of this colors table? It is colors. Okay. So fonts, we are going to store it in this fonts table. Name is Arial. It is Georgia. This one should be Georgia like this. This one is Palatino. So when the user will hit this Palatino label, this font should get added in the table named. The name of the table also should be changed, right? We need to change it to fonts. Are you guys getting this thing? Or is there any confusion? Is there anything which you
No,
are
sir.
not able to understand?
No, sir.
Okay, and now see, once the names of these fonts will get added,
Sir, please choose font.
yeah, it should be fonts, right? Sorry, like this. So once the names of all these fonts will get added to this fonts table, how I will fetch them on this main screen in this drop down one. So I need to change this one to drop down one. So when the user will hit this drop down one, let's define a list variable for this font thing and append item to font drop down one, and it should be font,
Sir,
and here
please
it should
choose
be
font
one.
table. Sir, table.
Where is that, dear?
Sir, read records.
Okay,
Sir, you
absolutely
have
correct.
in the read record.
Like this? Is this correct now?
Yes, sir.
And
Then colors.
sorry, dear, I didn't catch that. Is there anything I'm missing? Is this fine? Is this code fine?
Yes, sir.
I think it's
Sir,
this
get
code.
text for drop down one.
Get text for drop down one. Where is that, dear? This one here.
Sir, set property.
Okay, I am changing it. Don't worry about that. I am changing it. So because we need to change the font size now. So this is what we will be choosing now. Font size, and
Sir,
not
font
font size. It should
family.
be font family, right? It should not be font size. It should be font families, right? Where is that font family? Yeah, this is the one. And from where can I get the names of the font family? We can get it from get text. The idea of this component is drop down one. I think now it is fine. Okay,
Yes,
let's
sir.
now run this and check whether we have defined everything properly or not. So again, I'm running this app on two different tabs. This one is for the fonts. I think the username and password fields. Achha, I need to write down family, right? For accessing that font family screen in both these fields. Yeah, now it is fine. And here I need to write down main, and here also I need to write down main. Now at present nothing is getting reflected over here. So if you'll click on this Arial, Georgia, Palatino, Times, automatically you'll see a table is going to get created over here where you'll get to see the names of all the fonts that you have added. Fine. Now in order to get these names reflected over here in this drop down one, we just have to click on this drop down and you'll be able to see the names of all the fonts you have added to the table fonts. Fine. Now let's select this Georgia, and if you'll write down something over here, see the font is changing, right? That's how you can control the font family of this text area. Similarly, if you want to change the color is also changing. So both the drop downs are working fine. Okay, for today's lecture we are going to
Why have you
keep this.
created this red, green, and blue
Why have
label
we
here?
we are going to talk about this in the next lecture, dear. Okay, how can we control the red, green, and blue part of the different colors which are getting reflected in the background of the text area using
Sir,
those sliders?
RGB.
Using those sliders, that's what we are going to talk about in the